Hey everybody, this is Johnny A. Welcome to Studio Sessions. In this episode, we're going to answer some fan mail, and you can send questions in on the Facebook page or at johnnyaa.com. Speakers are regarded as an important element of one's guitar tone. I was surprised to read that Johnny A doesn't use the speakers in his combo amps live on stage, but rather sends a direct signal to the board. How did that come about? Why do you prefer this? In the studio, do you record the same way? James, I started doing this in 1995 or so when I was working with Peter Wolf. I was using Marshall 30th anniversary amps at the time, and they have a speaker emulation jack in the back, and I went early to a sound check one day and just started doing some A/B testing between miking the speaker and listening to the direct compensated output of the head and with the sound engineer, and I did this blind kind of taste test, or ear test, and I found that more often than not I preferred the sound of it direct. Once I was convinced that it could be a real tone, I just started to hone that with headphones and just manipulate the signal more and more and more until I got it to the point where it just seemed to be as legit sounding as miking an amplifier. Since I've been doing the solo career, early on I used a couple Marshall combos. I never used the speakers in those. Those were always there just to get the tap off the back of the head. The speakers were always muted. And in the studio, that's the way I record as well. I just take a tap off the back of the head and go into a Neve mic pre and right to the console. I believe that times I've seen you've played through the PA using no mic'd amps. What are pros and cons of using a Marshall at one gig and the house system in the next? Also, you are, of course, a guitarist of giant proportions. Giant, I've never been called a giant before. But I've got a 2006 Triumph Tiger 955i, and you pretty much need a 34-inch inseam to flatfoot the Blue Meanie. What sort of motorcycle do you ride? Okay. Pros and cons. I don't find any cons to miking, to going direct through the PA. And the best thing about it is consistency of tone. Night after night, I don't have to worry about where the mic was placed on a speaker, off-axis rejection, because you know how much you guitar players know how much the tone gets affected by mic placement. So that's the greatest thing about it, is the consistency, night after night after night, gig after gig after gig. I ride a Harley Davidson. I have a 2005 Screaming Eagle Fat Boy 103-inch, and I have it lowered about 2 inches. I got it kind of slammed to the ground, not because I can't flat foot it, but I just kind of like the look of a hot rod. So I hope that answers your question there, Jim. What are those cool red shoes you wear, and where do you get them? Referring to my Puma Ferrari shoes that are in the One November Night DVD. And they're just Puma shoes. You can get them online, but I wear them because I have affinity for things that go fast, like cars and motorcycles, and I got the Ferrari shoes. I'm working up to the car. I want to know about your signal chain for DIing your guitar both live and in the studio. Okay, live, the signal path goes from my guitar through a George L's cable down to a Dunlop 535Q wah-wah pedal. The wah-wah pedal then goes into a TC Electronic G system, and it's split stereo, and it goes to two Marshall JMP1 tube preamps, and those speaker emulated outputs go to a radial JD6, and those outputs from the JD6 go to the recording console. Inserted in the loop section of the TC Electronic G system is 3 BK Butler tube drivers that I can access for various stages of gain at my whim. For the studio, it's much, much simpler. I use my Marshall 30th anniversary amplifier out the speaker emulated circuit, and usually depending on what kind of tone I'm going for, would be the mic pre that I would use. My favorite mic pre to do most of the important tracks, I use my Neve 1058, but I also use Neve 1081s or Neve 1073s or John Hardy's or Earthworks, depending on what I'm going for. and there's no compression, there's no reverb, there's no nothing when I record. It's directly straight and as dry as I can get it. And I build my ambiences and everything after the fact in post-production. Hey everybody, thanks for the questions. That was a lot of fun. Feel free to keep them coming at Johnny A Official, which is on Facebook, or at johnnyaa.com. See you next time. Thanks.